On the previous episode of this exciting story, I, a poor, innocent GI, was told by a hard-hearted woman to sleep in the car. Stay tuned to find out what happens. Oh yes, I should mention that Irish and I were friends, but when the friendship involved women, money, or sleeping in cars, it was every man for himself. Here we go. Then I decided to pull out all the stops. I went to my never miss when all else fails routine. But hell's bells, they wouldn't even go for the poor, lonely, pathetic GI line. Ain't that something? Almost heartless. Irish and I went to bed in the damned car. The rat grabbed the back seat so the damn steering wheel wouldn't bother him. We weren't in the car very long before the sun started coming up. It can get real hot real fast in New Orleans around Labor Day, especially in a damned car. Irish went out like a light before it got really hot. I just sort of half sat and half laid there, bumping my damned head on the damn steering wheel and getting hotter. Hotter and hotter and hotter. I had damned well had it. Trying to sleep in that car was ridiculous. The motel room was air-conditioned. I got out of the car and knocked on the door. They opened the door. There was a discussion. If you really have to know, I begged and pleaded. Anyway, they let me in. I slept on the couch. It was a big couch and I could stretch out. I was nice and cool. I lacked the desired companionship, but I could sleep. Now here comes the part that Irish could never seem to recover from. I really never did understand why. Anyway, Irish woke up about noon. It wasn't real hot by then. It probably wasn't much more than 100 degrees or so. I doubt if it was more than 100 or 120 in the car. Well, when Irish woke up, he sort of had a hangover, and he didn't seem to be in a real good mood. I never could figure out why Irish was always so touchy. Anyway, Irish knocked on the door. The babe he had been with opened the door. He came in. His hair was hanging down over his face. I don't believe that there was a square inch on his pathetic little body that wasn't covered in sweat. He had a funny look on his face. He was as white as a ghost. He was a damn mess. The phrase, death warmed over, comes to mind. I reckon that a man should have a little sympathy for something as pathetic as Irish looked then. He was standing in the doorway. He just looked around for a few minutes, sort of like he was trying to get a grip on reality. He looked pretty damn bad. Irish sort of put me in mind of one of those B-movie science fiction creatures after he had been shot. You know what I mean. Glazed over eyes, just looking around sort of lost-like, with his sweaty hair hanging down and the sweat dripping off of his chin. Of course, there is also a pretty damn good case for saying that he looked like a lost sheepdog that had slobbered all over himself. I'm sorry. If you can picture that scene in your mind, you can see that it was pretty damned funny. No, it was hilarious. I laughed like hell. Irish looked over at me. For some reason, he seemed to be a little bit irritated with me. I never did figure out why. Hell, I wasn't doing anything. I was just laying on the couch. Well, I did have my head in the blonde's lap, and she didn't have a whole lot of clothes on, and I had my shirt off, and she had her hand on my chest, and she was feeding me grapes. But that's all, honest. I figured I'd ignore the way Irish was looking at me. Hell, being grouchy just ain't in my nature. Being of a friendly nature, I said, "Hey, Irish, did you get a nice sleep? Have a grape." "Dave, I'm going to kill you." "Shut the door, for crying out loud. It's hot out there." "Dave, I'm going to kill you." These are good grapes. I stopped talking for a few seconds. Blondie wanted to feed me another grape. Then I looked at Irish again and said, "Have a grape." "Dave, if I ever get better, I'm going to kill you." I looked up at my new friend. "I don't think he wants a grape." Irish just wouldn't let up. "Why in the hell didn't you wake me up? I'm about to die, for crying out loud." "Damn, Dave, I'm about to die." The pathetic-looking Irishman kept staring around the room, the nice, cool room, and mumbling for a while. He kept repeating himself. I was getting a little fed up with the about-to-die routine. I think you can understand that. But I will have to admit, though, that the phrase "about to die" looked pretty close to the truth. The boy did look a little shaky. I decided to humor him. It's in my nature. "Irish, you were sleeping like a baby. I didn't have the heart to wake you up. Besides, I was pretty sure they wouldn't let both of us in." "Damn, Dave, I thought we were friends. I'm about to die." He just wouldn't lay off of about to die. The man just refused to listen to logic. I decided to ignore him and change the subject. "Irish boy, grapes are good for you. Are you sure you don't want a grape?" After the look I got from him, I decided that for some unknown reason, Irish just didn't like grapes. Well, that's the end of this episode. Tune in the next time to find out what happens to the Irishman. Oh yes, and find out about the female situation.